Hello and welcome back to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today I'm going to show you how to make eclairs. Oh yeah, I had a request to do a video on eclairs, so here we go. That's what we're going to do. They're really easy to do, simple ingredients. If I can do it, you can do it. Before I move on, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of my new videos. Let's get started. Let's begin with our 1 cup of all-purpose or plain flour, and then add our salt, 1/2 teaspoon of table salt, and then about 2 teaspoons of sugar. Some recipes don't even call for sugar, so you can actually leave out the sugar if you want. And then with a little whisk, let's just get that in there. Okay, mix that together. Set this aside. In a large pot, let's add in our 1 cup of water and our 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. And now let's take this and our flour mixture over to the stovetop. All right, and I have the stovetop set to medium heat. And we want to just heat up this water and melt the butter. And then I have a silicone spoon here, or you can use a wooden spoon for this as well. So what we are making is just a classic choux pastry, which is used for a number of pastry dishes, eclairs, and cream puffs are some of the main uses. I have a cream puff video as well. Up there in the eye, you'll see a little eye. You can find that cream puff video if you like. All right, once it starts to bubble like this, we are going to take it off the heat, add in our dry mixture, and then we're just gonna start stirring really well. Okay, once it kind of comes together like this, let's go back on the heat, and then we wanna just sit here and keep stirring, and we wanna cook it down for about 30 seconds or so. We're just cooking the flour a little bit. Switch hands so you can see it better. All right, so that's good. Remove it from the heat. I'm gonna take the dough out and pour it into the glass bowl so it's easier to see. And now what we wanna do is we want to stir, or if you have a stand mixer with a paddle attachment, you can use that. We wanna keep stirring, and we're gonna let some steam, let some heat out of this. Still really warm. Make sure your hands are clean if you're going to be testing the dough, because right now the dough is too warm to add the eggs. Okay, and then when you tap it and it's just kind of like warm, then that's fine, ready to go. We're going to add in our eggs 1 at a time. 1 egg, and we want to mix it in. And at first, it's not going to want to mix in, but just keep stirring and mixing, and eventually that egg will get incorporated. All right, let's add another egg. And then we just keep doing this until all the eggs are incorporated. Also, now at this point, you can start your oven and preheat it. We want to preheat it to 425 Fahrenheit. All right, and once it is all incorporated, our choux pastry dough, it'll stick to your spoon or spatula and then barely fall off like that. That's ready to go. And now we want to use a piping bag, a large piping bag, or a big Ziploc bag with the tip snipped off. And here on my piping bag, I just have this round tip. This is actually the holder that holds other tips on, but I'm just using this, I'm just going to use it as is without any extra tips. You can add a round tip if you like, or like I said, just snip off the corner of the bag, your Ziploc bag, and use that. And just fold it over your hand or a glass. and we'll fill it with our choux pastry. All right, and just bring it up. We'll just go down about 1 inch wide. And about 4 inches long. Don't normally want to go back over it like that, but oh well. And then I just took an egg and beat it and add like a teaspoon of water. And we want to just brush the tops of these with some egg. And it's going to take down any of those lumps that you might have. Especially that one. And now we're gonna bake this in the oven, 425 Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. We'll turn the oven down to 350 degrees and we'll bake it for another 20 to 25 minutes. It'll get nice and golden brown on the top and it'll sound hollow on the inside. And when they come out of the oven, they'll look something like this, nice and golden brown on the top. Now we're gonna set these aside and let them cool, and then we'll make our pastry cream to go inside, as well as our ganache to go on top. And for the pastry cream, I have 1 cup of cold milk, and I'm gonna add a 3.5 ounce or 96 gram package here of vanilla pudding. This is not a classic pastry cream. Typically you'd use like a custard, and I do have a custard recipe already, which we could use that custard recipe that I have up in the eye. You'll find that. We could use that custard as a base, and then we'll add whipped cream into it after, which is what we're gonna do with this pudding as well. So put in the vanilla instant pudding mix. And what's also neat, what I like about using pudding, is there's all kinds of different pudding flavors that you can use. Chocolate, cheesecake, lemon, a variety of other puddings that you can use. Let's just mix this together with a fork. And then just let the pudding set aside for about 5-10 minutes until it sets. And so you take 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and we're gonna whip this up. All right, once our cream has been whipped, let's take our pudding, and we'll just kind of stir it around first, and then put it right there in with your whipped cream. And now let's just mix this all together, kind of folding underneath. All right, there is our pastry cream. Looks awesome. And now I want to start my ganache. For the ganache, I chopped up a milk chocolate candy bar. This was a normal 4.4 or 4.2 ounce candy bar, and or 120 grams. And I'm going to add 1/2 cup of really hot heavy cream. And I just heated that up in the microwave. You can heat it up on the stovetop. Got it to where it's really hot. Took about 45 seconds. And then we're just gonna let it stir it around just a little bit. And then just let it sit for about 5 minutes without touching it, and then we can go from there. And while that's sitting, we'll take our pastry cream. I have a pastry bag, or you can use like a Ziploc bag, and I have an injection tip. If you don't want to inject them, you can just cut. You can just cut the base all the way in half and just fill it with a normal tip. But I'm going to inject these, so we'll just take the pastry bag. We'll just grab some of our pastry cream. Just stuff it down in there. And then you twist, and the bag and it's ready to go. All right. So you grab, and then on the bottom, just poke a hole, usually about 3 holes. And it's going to be nice and hollow inside. And we'll just stick that tip in there and put some cream in there. And sometimes you only need like 1 hole in the middle. And you just go until it starts to pop out like that. And then that one's ready. And you can feel how heavy it is. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to do that with the rest of them. And now it's always recommend to fill these just before you want to serve them, like half hour before you want to serve them. Totally up to you. I don't mind filling them now and then even storing them in the fridge for a day, but that's just my preference. Come back over here and just stir it. And the chocolate will be melted. And if it's too runny or too thick, you can add a little more chocolate and just heat it up again in the microwave and then let it melt. Or you can add more cream. And then we take our Eclair, go straight down, let it drip. Boom. Look how awesome that is. And then we'll just put it back and let the top ganache set. I think I will thicken it up a little bit for this the rest of them. So I just added about a half cup of chocolate chips. And I heated it up in the microwave and just let these sit a little bit. Or if you're in a hurry, you can do bursts of 15 seconds in the microwave, stir 15 seconds and stir until it melts. A lot thicker than it was. I'm gonna dip the rest of them, and I could re-dip the other ones if I want, or leave them as is. Either way, you want to lift it up and just let some of it drip off, the excess. And when they are done, they'll look something like this, ready to go. And you'll just wait for the top on the ganache on top just to set. And you'll be able to tell when it sets. I'm gonna grab one. Oh, that cream on the inside. Oh yeah. All right, the chocolate eclairs are done. Turned out fantastic. Really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. I love how versatile they are. You can change out the chocolate ganache with like a white chocolate ganache. You can just do powdered sugar on top if you wanted to. You could sprinkle different nuts, different like sprinkles. Tons of different things that you can do with these. On the inside, instead of doing vanilla pudding, there's a lot of different flavors of pudding that you can use, or just use the classic custard. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into one of these. Oh yeah. Think I'll grab this one right here. Oh yeah.